And if you are looking to buy a home but can't stomach the high costs and interest rates, you're not alone. Many Americans continue to be getting priced out of home ownership, even as home sales inch up all across the nation. Pending sales rose 1.6% in February, signaling a rebound in the housing market. But with the cost of home ownership far outpacing average incomes, affordability is keeping the market strained. It has some looking for alternative financing options, and some are considering going Dutch. In this case, it doesn't mean splitting the bill, but it's actually a method that decreases your mortgage over time by automatically lowering your interest rate. For instance, in the U.S., you currently have to refinance a home to get better interest rates, and the process still costs thousands of dollars to do so. This type of financing just got the green light in the U.K., but will it make it over to the U.S.? That's the big question. Let's bring in now finance expert Dan Roccato. Dan, let's start there. Any chance this makes it to the States?
Yeah, hi, Kel. Thanks for having me. Probably not anytime soon. Our system is pretty unique, Kelly, in that we've got a couple of key differences. One, Americans are a restless bunch. We move around a lot, so we don't stay in our houses very long on average. Secondly, our mortgages get sold. When you and I get a mortgage on our home, Kel, within days, oftentimes that mortgage is sold to investors. Those investors may not be so keen to lower the rates in the future. And finally, we're used to refinancing. Americans love to do a refi when the rates are lower. So there's some pretty steep hurdles. It's a cool idea. It works in the Netherlands, but it's going to be a while before we see it here.
That all makes sense. So, Dan, in terms of affordability, does this really make homes more affordable when you break down all of those factors?
Well, it can if you stay in the house a long time. And that's the key, Kelly. So it's a great question. Remember, your mortgage rate is really the price of money. Money has a price, and that's the interest rate we pay. And that price largely depends on how long of a time span, how many years. So the longer you go out, obviously the price goes up. So really what we have to focus on is how do we increase affordability in this country? And that involves a little bit more magic than what the Dutch are doing. So we've got high rates, we've got high prices, we've got low supply. That's the trifecta of pain right now for buyers, as you pointed out.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And, banks here in the U.S., they make their money off interest rates, as you outlined. And this may not work for everybody, but do you think there are factors that could incentivize them to adopt a program like this? Would a bank here even consider something like this, since they wouldn't make as much money off the loan?
Yes, for sure. I sat on the board of directors for a bank for several years, and I will tell you that for banks that hold the mortgages, for banks that don't sell them in the secondary market, this could be an interesting idea. And it's one that over time might catch on for a certain niche of buyers in a certain niche of banks. But largely because of the reasons you and I just talked about, I don't see all 30-year mortgages going to the so-called Dutch model. What we really need to do is try to boost supply. I know that's not going to solve all of our problems, but that's what we really need to do, at least to put take some pressure off of the market. Here in California, for example, it's easier to win Powerball than it is to build a home. That's got to change, Kel. We've got to boost supply. At the same time, look at some of these more innovative ideas.
Wow, that's really interesting when you put it in that light. Certainly eye-opening there. And, there are some reports. It sounds like this may also entice our aging population, to your point, to sell their homes, which, of course, would boost inventory. Would that then make home ownership a bit more attainable for millennials and Gen Z?
Great point. 78% of sellers right now that have a mortgage less than 5%. Well, who the heck wants to trade a 5% mortgage for a 7% mortgage, right? So you're absolutely right that we need to unlock that door. We need to unlock that so that those sellers that want to move can, in fact, put their homes on the market. They may be older sellers, and that opens it up for you Gen Zs and millennials out there to come on into the market.
All right, Dan Roccato. I always learn a lot. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Cal. Take care.
You as well.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.